Hey everybody, it's Trying Unicorn and
Bar.
and we are here to give a debrief of DTF night at Oasis. We needed a couple days to recover before we were able to like sit down and have this chat. So this was our first DTF ever, and it was 25% capacity. So we knew it was going to be way less people than a normal DTF. But as a first-time DTFer, what was your experience like?
Okay, so just to say that I went in there with every intention of being only a simple observer, and I came out being a complete and total whore.
Cheers for horse.
Yeah, I say that with a little bit of pride and a little bit of shock at the same time because I was rather unexpected. So that was my impression, and it was a wild night, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It was fun.
What was the difference between a DTF and another night?
I think there was a lot more single guys there, and they were much more ready to jump in at the slightest auction sign. Like you raise your eyebrow and they're in there. Like they're ready.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Well, okay, I'll give you an example. There's one guy. He's like toeing the red line because you had the red line. You have to stay behind, right? The famous red line. So he's toeing the line. He's not only fully ready. He's got a condom on and just waiting for the go. Like he's waiting in line.
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
That was basically it. He was in the bullpen, just warmed up and like all equipped, ready to go. So that I was just like, wow, that's pretty presumptuous of you. Like, could you not just wait to put it on till you're at least invited somewhere? Sorry.
Anyways, it's just DTF has so many funny memories like this.
Remember we were sitting in the pool. We decided to go and take a tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're taking a tour up there, and I happened to spot in that first room that we went in, the I don't know what we call it, the black room there. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing there was a thing going on, a kind of a gangbang in the corner with that the girl and several guys. And on the bench, there was a bench next to it, is a man who's there waking away and very enthusiastically. And of course that catches my eye because that's my fetish, right, is to watch men.
Is it really?
It is. I love to watch men masturbate.
Wow.
Yeah. And to get excited. So, yeah, he was really going at it, and he caught my eye at the same time, caught me watching him. So I was like, and I ran away into the other room.
Did you?
I did, kind of, excuse me, I feel like, he caught me, So, but of course, you kept going into that other room, and I kind of circled back.
Yeah.
And I looked, I peeked again, and there he was. And he caught me again.
Really?
Yeah. And so this kept happening. Then we went in a circle, and I left the room and came back, and again, and this time he had moved onto the bed area, so I guess he had been invited to sit back there. And when we came in again, he saw that, and by this time we had that guy from the pool that we brought up, T. The good-looking
yes,
T.
the guy we fucked actually. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So we had brought him up with us, and the gentleman.
No,
wasn't he?
No.
Yeah, because he saw.
He was up there independently.
Oh, is that what
And that's
happened?
how we bonded, is because we were both voyeurs to your sex.
Okay, so let's take that back. So you and I are standing there. I'm watching Wanker, and he's inviting me. Meanwhile, you're in my ear going, do it, like the devil. She's there, like the little devil on the shoulder going, do it. I'm like, I don't know if I should. Do it. So I'm like, okay. Off I go, and I jump in, and he's very happy. And so we start talking a little bit. This is my first DTF, so what did I just do? I jumped in with a complete stranger, whose name I can't remember at this point.
What's it like fucking a stranger, like somebody just touching your body?
I like that. I find that, and as the story progresses, you'll see why I love that. But there's no big deal. Like it's sensation. It's the more the merrier, I'm discovering. So anyway, I went with him, and I know you were in the corner watching, and that's the last thing I remember out of that. So I'm busy with this guy, who actually fit me really, really well.
That's so good.
So I will tell you, it took us a little while to get started, just because I wanted to establish a couple of rules with him that my hard rules. And and then started getting into it, and once we were into it, then of course we were into it.
And wait a second, I heard you at one point say no kissing. Is that a hard no rule for every guy?
No, not for every guy. I just don't like to be kissed by guys. I don't like kissing. Like if there are, put it this way, if you are shoving your tongue down my throat to the point where you can play with my uvula, not liking it.
No.
If you're a slobberer with lots of, spit coming down, don't like that either. So kissing to me is a very intimate thing between two people.
Yeah.
It's not to say that in the heat of the moment I don't change my mind, but that would really depend on how the kiss goes. So I can do it without kissing. So
interesting.
But I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. Anyway,
what are your limits? What are your limits?
What are my limits? So I told him no anal, because I don't want to do that with a complete stranger for sure. I don't generally do that anyway. It's not to say that I wouldn't experiment a little bit, but not with somebody I don't know.
Okay.
And you have to wear a condom, and that's not an option. And it's got to be a clean one. Like I don't want
not one sticking around on a dick waiting for a
exactly,
pussy.
And not one that's been in someone else, and not one I want to.
Let's be specific here.
Yeah, no, be clean about it. So those are and basically that's it. And so I'm not. I'm not that difficult. I just wanted to establish that we're on the same page with this. So here's the thing. So we're started up. Anyway, he starts calling me little girl. And so I clued in.
What a presumptuous thing to do.
He said, good girl.
Oh, good girl.
Sorry, good girl.
Good girl's different.
Good girl. And I took it a little bit like that. Like I had the same kind of reaction. I went, okay, I know what we're playing here. So I called him Daddy.
No, you
I
did. You told us straight
I
Daddy.
whispered in his ear, and I called him Daddy, and it had an immediate reaction. And it was really good, actually. So I kept encouraging this. And this is what we're with. Yeah, well, I'm whispering in his ear. He was on top of me. So you were sitting out that way. So you got to see the underside of the whole carriage, if you will. Okay, and apparently that's what you and T were enjoying the view.
Mm-hmm.
I, in the meantime, I'm calling him Daddy. Fuck me, Daddy. Oh, yeah.
I've never called a man Daddy.
Well, I didn't expect to go into this doing that, but I play off the energy of my partner. I mean, I don't know if it's intuitive, I don't know what it is, but I pick up on the clues. And it was spot on. And yeah, so it was really a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't remember his actual name, so I'll just call him Daddy.
So while she's having this crazy fun experience with this stranger guy that was wanking at her, I make myself comfortable on the bench because I knew I was going to be there for a while. When I sat on the bench, I immediately felt a wave of male energy with holding their dicks look at me and come at me at the same time, and I had to put my hands up and say, whoa, 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 I'm just watching. I'm okay. Yeah, I had to, because there was that kind of intensity of energy coming out.
It's like a wall of testosterone.
Just a lot of like, here, can I? I'm like, oh my God, I'm here just to watch. So while I was watching, I was with a friend from the platform Oasis, and technically he's also one of my OnlyFans, but anyways, so he was there. So he was a platonic friend for the night, but I was like, hey, come sit with me. And then I saw this cute guy. Well, I couldn't tell if he was cute because he had a mask on. So I saw he was like kind of cute from like here up. And like, he was my type. And so he was watching the whole time too. And so the whole crowd would empty out at some points, and it would just be us watching, and then more people would come in. So we were like, we're the diehards. So we bonded over being diehard voyeurs.
Section. You were our cheering section.
Yes. And then I invited him to come and sit with me, which was really brave of me because I don't normally initiate with men. or so I thought until.
That's good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I will make a point. I don't like it.
No.
I'd rather a man initiate, but I'd rather it be when I'm comfortable. So it's not always easy for a guy to tell that, but I would rather him be like, hey, I'm into you, versus me being like, hey, I'm into you.
Yeah, but you invited him to come sit doesn't necessarily mean that you're into him.
Yeah, and it didn't
in your mind,
yeah.
it might, but it didn't mean anything in that sense. So it's taking an initiative, it's not making the first move. There's a difference.
It's true, but here's what I really like about my DTF experience. I still did it my way. I did not fuck any man with his dick already in his hand. I found a guy in the crowd. I made friends with him. We went to the pool. We hung out. We went for the tour. You know, we got there. We got to sex. It wasn't just for the sake of fucking. And I think that's, for me, that was very important, because I like to have a connection with somebody. I don't want someone on top of me and then me thinking they're a bad person. Like, it's not gonna
let's talk about a little this connection. So after that whole incident upstairs, we all went back down to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hanging out with you guys in the pool, talking about different things, and I really kind of liked him too. Like, I mean, I was sort of eyeballing him a little bit, you know, and we ended up, the three of us, going back up a little while later for another tour upstairs. And at that point, that's right, that's when we saw our other friend, our girlfriend S, so a Miss S, if you will, is, I don't know, we didn't know it was her. Somebody told us that under this
physical body it was.
Under the pile of bodies that were there, and I counted at least 6, if I'm not mistaken, was S. And so I went in for a close look. The girl who was sitting on the next bed invited me in, so I crossed the line, and I'm in there. I'm looking at all the crevices, and I'm close up to it and everything, and you know, everyone's sort of just waiting on the word for me to jump in with it, but I wasn't. And I sat there with that other girl, and we talked, and we watched S go, and I saw you on that back bench starting to fool around with them. Do you remember that? I have the visual in my head. So I'm sitting on that big mattress, and I look back, and I see you and him. You had his dick in your hand.
Yes, and then I remember saying, can I kiss you? Because I don't want your dick in my mouth before I've kissed you.
Did you say that? What do you think of that? Hold on. You said...
I said, can I kiss you before I put your dick in my mouth?
Maybe he likes that.
I don't care. I wanted to kiss him. And it was a good kiss, which mattered. It was a good kiss. And then I put his dick in my mouth, and it was really good. It was a really beautiful circumcised cock. It was very big, right? And so there was, even though it was good and I enjoyed it, there were times when he would put it all the way in my throat, but it would hit the wall. And there's no going through a wall. Like, you can go down the hallway, but not through the wall. And so I was getting it pushed against the back of my throat wall with a bit of aggression. And I was like, well, that's not really that fun. I'd rather it go down the hole, right? But it was just angles. It wasn't easy to do. I don't know how to fucking do it, or I've been doing it. So I really was like, okay, let's move on to sex kind of quickly. Normally I suck dick a little longer. And then unfortunately his dick was so big that it kept hitting the back wall of my vagina, and I couldn't relax because I was like, oh my God, I can't enjoy this because it's going to hit something, it's hurting. And he's one of those guys that he wants to put his whole dick in, right? And he would do this thing with his dick, and he would just push it in and as far as he could go. And I was it wasn't a good poke though, right? And so I felt bad because I just don't think my vagina could accommodate his dick. And so I did it as long as I could. Then he fingered me, and I will admit, for the sake of honesty, that I think apparently a little squirt came out, but I don't know. He seemed to know what he was doing. I remember it suddenly got a little wetter, and that's all I remember, because I was like, I don't want to pee on you. And then he was like, well, he was nice about it. He's like, why? Just pee on me if it's pee. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm scared. And so he was a nice guy, and he was like, like, he's like, come on, it's not, look, we don't even have to clean it up. You know? So I really appreciated that about him. I felt comfortable with him for sure.
Okay.
But when I was done, I was done. And so I had to finally tell him that my clitoris could not take any more swipes. I was done. My pussy was out. I even put on my bathing suit bottoms again because I needed to be done. Like, my pussy was done.
Oh,
So
wow.
then he's sitting beside me, and I was like, you're starting on the other side to start your part.
Okay, so let me get to that part then. So at this point, I had been watching S in the next bed, look over, and I saw you with him. At some point, you had transferred into the other room. Okay? Meanwhile, I was going to start my thing. So what I did is I decided to be brave. I said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? You know what I did? I reached into that little bag that I bring with me. It's a little bum bag. I pulled out my blindfold. And I said to the girl next to me, not the one who was getting banged, the other one who invited me in, and I said to her, I want you to pick who it is. And I put my blindfold on, and I laid back. Okay? Just before I did that, what do I see in the doorway into the next room is you on all fours with his fingers doing this up you, and I hear this. Ah! Ah! I'm like, before I put the blindfold on, give me a second. Ah!
I'm loud because that's how I have an orgasm.
That's what you were exactly doing. So I waited for a moment for that to happen, and then I put the blindfold on and I laid back. And so that was a fun sensation. So I don't know who she picked. All I know is that soon there were some hands on me. There was somebody...
You know who they are now.
I know who they are now, but I didn't at the time. And I didn't actually necessarily intend to know who they were at all.
True.
But I just wanted that sensation of not knowing. And so I felt somebody sort of crawl on top of me. And I
If
could
you ever
tell,
get in that mood again, you let me know.
I am in that
I
mood.
will be like, you won the special ticket. Come on up.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
I'll totally
Next
set that up for
DTF.
you.
Okay, that's what I'm
Do it
talking
totally
about.
done.
And I want to train in them.
Yeah.
I want, like, okay, you're
I can
out,
totally do this
you
with
are
you.
in. You are out, you are in. And if you want to fluff them, then you can.
No.
But that's up to you.
No.
Otherwise, let them take care of their own fluffing. And then, yeah.
I could be like, are you a subscriber? Are you a subscriber?
Totally. Absolutely. Because I won't see. So blindfold on, I feel this body come on to me, and it's very lightweight. So I know it's a skinny boy. And, all the parts are there, everything's going, and it was an interesting sensation.
What did you start with? What was your first thing? Oral?
My first thing, no, because I was laying back, so he just got right to business, which was good. Like a little hand play, I think he went down on me for like 10 seconds. I'm not exactly sure.
Was it good?
It was hard to remember because I don't have the visual with it, but it was good. And then we got right to business. He started, going right into me and fucking me and the whole bit, and the girl was making sure that he had a condom on. That was the whole point, because that was very important. So she was my spotter for that.
Yeah.
And and so he was on top of me, and I could feel his body getting sweatier and sweatier as he's pumping away. So I could just tell, without even seeing, I could tell he was young. I could tell he was thin and not particularly tall.
I don't even know who this was that you were fucking.
I had no idea either. So it turns out, I don't know how much I can say. I'm going to call him an enchilada.
Oh, yes, he wasn't that thin.
Well, I don't know. This is just what I'm feeling, okay? And for me, thin is relative, I guess, the last person I was with.
Okay, all right.
So anyway, it was fine. It was great. It was an interesting sensation. I did end up taking off the blindfold after that.
Can we ask in this moment, what is it that you like about fucking as somebody you don't know who they are?
I like just the not knowing. I like the stranger effect. Does that make sense? Of it could be anyone. I think that there's a certain prejudice that comes along with anyone. You know, you have a type. You have this one you like, that one you don't. This one appeals to you, that one you don't. When you're blindfolded, you don't have that prejudice. And when you give the power over to somebody else to pick who's the lucky winner, as you say, the power's taken out of my hands.
Interesting.
And so I think it has to do with power dynamic. I think that would be my best answer. It's something to do with the power dynamic.
Fascinating.
Yes, there is a fascinating psychology to it. And I have to say, it's not the first time I've been with a stranger, but it's the first time that I've been blindfolded at Oasis.
Wow.
And it's the first time I've done that, and I really do like it. Now, would I do it on a non-DTF night? That might be a little weird. That might be a little too heavy for people who are there. Like, I think a DTF is probably expected. What do you think?
I think with blindfolds, I think DTF is more appropriate to just randomly throw that on, but I think you can always do that. I just don't think in a non-DTF night you won't have the same men holding their dicks ready to
That's
go.
what I mean, and I kind of like that testosterone wall environment.
You thrived.
I think I did. So just to finish up with this, I finished with the enchilada. Okay, took that off. And meanwhile, the girl who was next to me, who had the 6 that were on her, she was still going. Like, it had been at least an hour or more. Somewhere between an hour and 2. Everyone taking a turn.
Pussy.
Exactly. So after enchilada, I was taking a break, and I look over, and I see someone I will call Chocolate Chip, who was nailing her. And he's looking at me. And he's nailing her faster as he's looking at me. And I know what that means. He's getting hungry. So, sure enough, wouldn't you know, when I was ready to go again, I ended up having 2 with me, including Chocolate Chip and we'll call them Vietnamese spring rolls. Okay? So I was busy with those 2. It was a real international smorgasbord, I'm going to say. Because once I was busy with those 2, at one point you came over to me, and what did you say to me?
Oh, about the guy that I was with?
Yes.
I said, so here's the thing. So this guy wanted me to keep playing with his dick. I think he wanted more everything. I was done. I was done. And so I was like, I knew that she already kind of wanted to fuck him. And so for the first time ever in my life, I was just like, well, why don't you go fuck my friend then? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, honestly, yeah. Like, I mean, she liked you too. And he was nice because he didn't want to intrude. So I went over and I asked and I said, hey, T wants to fuck you. Can he join? And you're like, yeah.
So what was I busy doing at that point? I think I had one in each hand. I had one in each hand, or one in the mouth and one in the hand. And you asked me that, and I was really excited because, here's the thing, is I probably would have gone with him, but then I totally saw that you were into him. And so, you know what? I thought to myself, all right, he's all yours. Like, I'm not, if you find a guy that you're happy with, that you might actually do, I'm happy to let it go.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good friend.
Well, no, because you know what? Hello, everyone's there like dick in hand. I don't need to know your name. So I'm happy to leave him to you. So the fact that you then offered to share him, I was very excited. I'm like, hell yeah! So bring him on over. So meanwhile, I'm back to the 2, and I'm like, where is he? He's not there.
Yeah, he didn't. He felt like one of the guys gave him a look.
Oh no!
And he was like, I don't want to just go over there and like intrude now.
Okay. So anyway, it got busy, and then at some point I realized, I'm like, he's not here. So I looked over at him, and I made him a sign.
That made it.
I made him a sign. I said, come. And so right away he came over. And so now I had 3. I have never had 3 before, okay? So here's the thing with 3. When you're on all 4s, okay, you've got 1 holding, 1 maybe in the mouth. You need the other hand to balance yourself, or else you fall over. Like, think about it.
Yes.
So it was trying to coordinate, and I had to switch it up so that nobody was feeling neglected while all 3 were going on.
It's a lot of responsibility, too.
It was. And so, of course, I'm trying to coordinate my own, dance with all the dance of the penile.
Yeah.
Can you say that? Dance of the penile. And I'm looking over at S, who's next to me, still going, still getting bagged by whoever was next in line, as she's still blowing another one and doing this. I don't know how she's being held up, because they are still numerous around her. And so I'm thinking, I'm not sure how she's doing it, but I could barely figure it out myself. So, yeah, I got busy with the three of them. And then, of course, it's getting really late at this point, and we needed to hurry things up before we're going to get kicked out, so that everyone gets a turn.
We're against the clock at that point.
Okay, so going back to the fact that T came and joined us. So, of course, I'm excited to have him there, and I present on all fours. And he puts on the condom and begins to enter, and I'm loving it. Until he gave a full-on thrust, and I went doink as well, just like you. I'm moving, you know, like
yes, I do. Yes,
it was the same thing. It was like, you know, and so, as much as like it's kind of, how can I say? I like it, but it's just a tad too much.
Too much.
Just like I want to say, an inch, half an inch, too much. Whatever it was just too much. And so I had to ask him just to go not so deep, and I was trying to adjust myself.
And he likes to go,
yes.
Like he likes,
like the hard thrust in, which I do like. I do like the hard
when
thrust.
When it doesn't hurt.
So,
the other end. Okay.
So what do I say to him? I turn around and I say to him, "Oh, the curse of having a big dick."
Yep.
He's like, "Yep." You know, he clearly is aware of that. So. Here's the thing. Here's a conversation. Let's just interject with this. Does size matter?
Apparently. Because there is such a thing as too big, too.
Yeah. So I want to say size does matter because, yeah, too big is not fun. And I've had bigger than him. I have had, when I was very young, too. It was so big. I had to go on top and I couldn't sit the whole way. It was just uncomfortable. I didn't last very long with this guy because of that. It was too much for me.
It really is a deterrent for future sex, too. Because I'm like, why would I have sex again if it hurts?
Exactly. I mean, it's not hurt in a good way.
Yeah.
Hurt in a half good way.
Yeah, I could never orgasm. I would be, I wanted to just be over. Like, I was like, go fuck my friend. Like, I was just like.
See, I didn't want it to be over. I just wanted it to be no longer painful because the rest of it I did
fair.
like.
I really liked him.
I did enjoy him, and I probably would. I would give him a second go, even though it did hurt.
I let him finger me, maybe.
I think I would just have to moderate it. So, okay, on the squirting. Mm-hmm. So he tried to do the same thing to me as he was doing to you. He wanted me, like I was up on the knees, whatever, and he was doing this. I'm like, yeah, I know my own body. I'm like, you're going to have to lay me down, and maybe you'll get me. Because he was doing it well. Like, he had a good thing going. But I am a very specific type of orgasmer, and I just knew that he was going to be disappointed with it.
Yeah.
And so, but in the end, I kind of gave him a quick lesson on where to go because I like it more. Like, he wanted to do it more inside. I wanted more on the clitoris. When he figured that out, I was able to concentrate and give him a little bit of juice. And I actually did twice. And so, meanwhile, Enchilada had come back in, I think, and he was looking, and at least somebody was in there going, oh my God, wow. I could see it. So, to me, it feels like a big, huge gush of Niagara Falls comes out. But in fact, I think it's like a couple of drops.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like you can feel the difference in there, but to me, it's like I must have had a wave of, Mountain Dew come pouring out.
Meanwhile, I was clenching every muscle and organ in my body to try not pee on that man. I was like, don't pee. Like, I know.
You can't let yourself go when you're in that mentality. That's the problem. And that happens to me at Oasis, too. It happens to me a lot, actually. You really have to be in the zone.
And I just don't ever think I want to pee on a man because I don't drink enough water, and I think it would be kind of obvious if it was pee.
Okay, here's a story for you you're going to like. The first time I ever squirted, I was about 25, and I didn't know what had happened. So I was with a man that I had met at the dawn of the internet. Okay, we're talking like before chat rooms, before any of that. I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was listservs. Anyway, met up with this guy in another city, and he was from another city, And again, this is maybe my first stranger experience, right? We finally met up after having communicated a lot online. And yeah, he did something to me. He was older. He was 52. I was 25. We had a great time, and he worked some sort of magic on me that did something to me that I swear I peed the bed. And I was mortified.
Yeah.
Absolutely mortified. And he's sitting there laughing. And I'm like, why is this man laughing at me? I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, he laughed and he said, it's not pee. And I looked down and it didn't smell like pee.
Yeah.
It didn't have the color of pee. Like, it didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
And I think he was laughing because he was so proud of himself.
Wow.
As he should be. Now, I know what I'm talking about. I get this. But yeah, I didn't know what had happened. I felt like I'd lost a virginity all over again. So my evening, to summarize, here, let me summarize my evening. So I had Daddy. I had blindfolded enchilada. I ended up going with chocolate chip, Vietnamese spring roll, and tea, we'll call butter tart, just for the fun of it, at the same time.
And that was the first time ever having an experience like that, right?
Ever. And I came in, remember my goal was to come in and just be an observer. Yeah. And I didn't think I'd want to, get down with it. But once I saw sort of how things were going, and there was, this one in that corner and that one in this corner, I'm like, I can do this totally. I just sort of jumped in. Once I got over the initial shyness, it was, a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And next time, I want to do that thing. I want you to be my wing girl. I want you to curate.
I would like to do that. Yeah, that
you
would
get
be
to
fun.
pick them, and I will give you my criteria. Okay, so that's the other thing is, we could always call tea instead of butter tart. I could call them footlong. But the other thing is, you'll have to know what kind I want or what kind I don't.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was DTF for the most part. We ended up, getting together, getting into the showers, getting some dirty burgers and going home, which is a part of our tradition, but it was late.
We closed that place up. Like, we were rushing at the end, like, okay, better go. We heard the last call, like, on somebody's mic. Other people had gone. We were like the last ones in the room. So we hurried kind of out of there to get out on the street, get some dirty food,
and I remember when we got out of there, we walked around a bit like zombies because we were like, did we really just do that?
Well, this is it. My head was still spinning from that because it was 3 different sessions, and I finished with 3 different men at the same time. Yeah. I mean, I ticked off a lot of boxes on my bucket list. I have a bucket list, right?
I just think that's what DTF is for.
Oh.
It's to fulfill those fantasies. Guys show up to get, just their dick wet and whatever, right, for the most part. So you can really have a meeting of minds in that sense of let's just have sexual experiences, which is very cool. But I also like how I was able to do it my way.
Yep.
Make friends, have flirting, get to know somebody, start with touching, start with flirting, then have sex. Like, that's my, kind of experience that I like to have.
And I was very happy to see that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was not holding up much hope for you, knowing how you are, that it's not, you and I are very different.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to see that you hit it off with him. And as soon as I saw you with his dick in hand, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to play. That was sort of my cue to sort of say, okay, I can leave you there and I'm going to go play with these guys. And so, we communicate in a way that's very interesting. We sort of intuitively know when to sort of back away from the other one. So it was perfect timing. Yeah. And the fact that I got to share your guy.
That's just it, yeah. It
I'm
really worked
so
out.
happy about that.
And I remember when he was fucking you, listening to see if it was too big for you too. And when you were like, oh, not so deep, I was like, yeah, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. But to be honest, I felt almost relieved that I wasn't responsible for his ejaculation. Like, I was like, hey, can you go fuck her? Because it was like, I couldn't do it.
Well, this is it. He didn't ejaculate with you, right?
No.
He didn't ejaculate with me either.
But he also told me that he might not.
Well, that's what he told me at the end too, and he says he doesn't have to do that. Like, and I get that because I don't either. I enjoy the sensation of it.
Me too.
So yeah, I totally get that.
I don't have to orgasm, but I would prefer to orgasm, especially because I scream at the top of my lungs without air in between. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's when you know it's real. It's like when there's like, yeah, there's nothing in, there's no stop. Yeah. So that was DTF. I hope you enjoyed our update. Very detailed. We're trying this new approach to maybe put way more details out because more like podcast style. I guess what I would say is, do you have advice for people who should go to DTF and who should not go to DTF?
Newbies should probably not go to DTF. This is a very and don't forget, we were only at capacity 25%.
I know.
So I am a little concerned the next time. Well, concerned. I'm kind of excited now. The next time we go, it's going to be wall to wall, dick in hand. Wow! Think of the testosterone energy.
I used to go with 3 red bracelets on this arm, all saying not interested, because there's red bracelets that say not interested, don't approach, and green bracelets that say you are approachable. I had 3 on each arm, and I used to walk through DTF because I was there for a different reason. And they didn't really listen, like I still got hit on, but it felt like you needed armor.
Wow.
Armor to be against all the men who want you. The level of hunger for, if you have a self-esteem issue and you want to look hungry, go to DTF night, especially as a girl. You will get fucked. You will get fucked. People will pick you. Yes.
Well, I'm very excited for the next DTF because I hope to now take advantage of that. And I have you who's prepared to be my wing girl and be a selector. And I actually have another girl who I had met way back in the summer who I had spoken to about this, who reached out to me. And she was too intimidated to go on Tuesday, which just as well. Yeah. But she may come to the next one, and she wants to curate as well. So maybe I let you pick one, let her pick one. You guys can pick a few until I'm done. I may say to you, hey, unicorn, pick me another one. This one's done, pick me a new one.
I mean, that would be fun. I also think, I hope to have my own gangbangs there. Yes. I hope to eventually have my own group sex there on DTF night as well. So I've got big aspirations. I'm still filling some slots in that regard. But yeah, so future DTFs will do the same kind of video update, and hopefully you'll come along with us again. All right, bye.
Bye.